Hello again, everyone. As I make more and more of these videos, I always have things that I want to get done, plans for an episode, and it seems that there's never enough time to get everything done that I wanted to. So, one way of combating that is skipping through sort of the boring parts, and the other thing I do is, of course, start the following episode with just a little bit of what I had intended to do on the previous episode. So eventually, I get a whole episode behind. I had intended episode 4 of Function and Form to be about heading on a brief little trip northward in search of sheep and in search of rubber and sugarcane, mostly those three main things. Um, but by the time I had finished all of my preparations so that I could go on the journey, it was already ended the video. And so I decided that I wanted to show you sort of the trip I took and me finding these materials and then coming back home and planting them and getting ready to start doing some interesting projects. But it's not particularly exciting stuff. And on top of that, I wanted to have the opportunity to talk to you guys a little bit on why I decided to make this particular video series and sort of how I feel about Minecraft and what my philosophy of Minecraft is. Because I think different people play this game in wide varieties of different ways. And I think that's part of what makes it interesting. And so what I just want to talk about is what my philosophy is and how that dictates how I play and how that dictates what this video is and what I hope to do with it. So the title, Function and Form, is really central to sort of the concept of what I want to do in these videos. It seems to me that an awful lot of what people are doing in Minecraft breaks down into sort of one of two main things, and one is making really cool looking stuff, sweet castles or ships or bases just in general. Just sort of playing with Lego, just construction in its most basic level of very interesting stuff, and that's definitely form. And I think it's very important to have, this sort of creative play is a lot of what makes this sort of totally open-ended sandbox game as amazing as it is. However, there's also a matter of function. And this comes up in a lot of different ways. People really like, having uses for their room in their castle because it's easy to build an enormous castle. It's actually harder sometimes to find a use for all the rooms in your castle, and that can be very rewarding to find that sort of thing. Just to make every location have a purpose. And also people, this game gives a lot of very strong tools for building incredibly interesting machines effectively, from redstone circuitry, you know, to the more complicated stuff that is provided from different mod packs. We're effectively dealing with logic and computers a lot of the time, and it's train stations are no different. All these sorts of things are just terribly interesting, and the real trick is to find the middle ground in between form and function. And that's what I really spend a lot of my time doing when I'm trying to play Minecraft, is not only build something that's really interesting, but also that serves a purpose. Make it look really nice and serve a purpose. And a lot of that comes down to one of the big struggles is space. Because, let's say take redstone circuitry as a sort of the perfect example, is you can do anything with sort of NOT and OR gates, which is fundamentally what you're working with redstone and redstone torches. But that takes a lot of space, and it really doesn't look very nice. it looks cool, but it doesn't, it doesn't. If you're looking to build some internal logic for cool stuff to happen in your base, well, there's a very good chance that any sort of complicated computer that you make to do this sort of stuff is going to be bigger than your actual base. And so one thing that some of these mod packs do, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not actually sure exactly what features and features come from which mod packs. That's not something that I personally know a great deal about. I'm mostly just playing with the whole package and having a lot of fun. But anyway, a lot of what these what these tools provide, many of them really provide a way to do very cool things in a very compact way. And so I hope to share that with you in some of my upcoming videos and the projects that I work on. And an excellent example I can give you is there are facades for transport tubes. And so transport tubes can do all sorts of interesting things. They can be used to send redstone signals. They can be used to transport goods, of course. That seems to be their primary or most basic function. You can make them transport liquids. You can do all sorts of very interesting things using these transport pipes. It's one of the things that excited me about these mods for Minecraft, is the possibilities of pipes. And then with facades, you can just cover them up, and so you can actually have your wall be all your pipes, all your internal plumbing effectively, and then just cover it up so that your walls of your castle can have the plumbing and still only have walls that are 1 block thick, which I really think provides just a great set of tools to do some really slick looking projects. So this is a lot of sort of what interests me. And while I'm talking about mods and what they provide, I think looking at the mods, at the various tools provided in Feed the Beast, I can sort of break things into 3 very basic categories as far as interacting with the world and construction, as to what is provided in them. And I think there were some things that simply allow you to interact with the world in a new way, from sort of an adventuring perspective. Things like new kinds of armor and new materials to build weapons out of. And long-fall boots, portal gun, and jetpack are 3 big ones. And I really enjoy those. I really enjoy the sort of new way of being able to interact with the environment, being able to fly up to the top of trees to break it down. And I'm not much of a creative mode player. I like having to actually go gather the materials and build farms and eat and take damage and fight monsters. I really do enjoy that end of the game. But giving a little bit more power to the user to be able to be a bit more creative, easily get to high locations, to see the lay of the land and that sort of thing, and sort of the convenience of portal gun as well. I really enjoy. And then the second category of tools that are provided by the Feed the Beast pack are really deep tools that provide a lot of possibilities, more possibilities than they take away, I say. And I think the perfect example of that is the turtle, the little robot mining turtle, and I guess the computers in general. But I think I'm particularly enamored with the turtle, because it simplifies some tasks, it makes some things easier, but the possibilities of what you can program a turtle to do is just phenomenal. And I don't know if anybody here watching has had the pleasure of building and programming robots, but being able to sort of do that in an environment where you don't actually have to build the robot, and you don't have to worry about if it's going to work or not. You can just focus on whether on what you want it to do and writing the scripts to do it. It's a ton of fun to have it be that easy. And then the last category of new things provided in the mod pack, and these are things that you won't see me use very much, are things that sort of work for you. do all the work for you, in my opinion. And so I think, examples of that, things like quarries and tree farms that are, you put in a lot of material and you place one block and you know build that one block, and once you've done that, it will do all the mining or planting and growing for you. That to me, it just doesn't quite feel right. It feels like too much work is just being done. I suppose it's just the easiest way to say it. Now, I mean, not that I think less of anybody else who uses it. That would be silly to do that about a video game. But I guess it just feels too much like creative mode for me. And so I suppose that's my brief philosophizing on what's provided by Feed the Beast. There were some things that I just really loved about it, and some things that I could do without. But that's fine, because I just don't need to use those things. Anyway, what we're going to be doing next, and I mean, I'm actually a few episodes ahead as I narrate through this video right here. But what we're going to be doing in the near future is starting on some interesting projects where I will get to describe what we intend to do and how we intend to do it, sort of draw an outline, and then take you through what appeals to me about a particular project. We'll pick a nice spot for it, and then I'll show you how I put it together, and hopefully some of the projects will have some interesting elements, some original elements that will intrigue you guys, and maybe you can incorporate on some build of yours, some little bit of creativity that you can make your own. And as we go through that, as I work on these projects with you, I just hope that you'll keep in mind, sort of what I'm saying here about function and form, about how they're both important, and how I'm just such a strong believer that what makes this game really exciting, and what makes a project particularly, sort of a particularly nice final product is when you can have the opportunity to find the middle ground, find something that is both very functional and pretty. And so I'm very excited to have the opportunity to do that and share that with you guys. And I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, I think I'll just leave you with the rest of the video here, and I will see you guys. Bye for now.